I wanted to talk to you a little bit about nutrition for addiction recovery. So for those of us who have been through addiction, one of the most likely things that you also were doing was eating a bunch of crappy food, and probably for quite a while. You're probably also not eating at the times of day our bodies are designed to eat, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sugar and all kinds of things were coming into play. And so when you combine that with the fact that if you've been through addiction, you are living under long-term chronic stress, which depletes the body terribly, and then the toxic burden that comes along with the addiction lifestyle, you end up with the experience of moderate to severe malnutrition. Now, why does that matter for addiction recovery? It matters because our physiology requires nutrients from whole foods to create every cell, tissue, and chemical and fluid in the body, of course. But when we're looking at it through the lens of addiction, it's important to note that there's some neurotransmitters involved. And that, if we're looking at addiction through the lens of maybe being, something to do with the brain, then we have to expand that and look at it's really part of the entire nervous system. So we're looking at a condition of the nervous system, physically speaking. This isn't to disregard the spiritual, emotional, mental aspects, but it's also very physical. I mean, after all, we're ingesting the substances into our body, right? So when we're looking at getting into recovery, or perhaps we've been in recovery for a little while or for quite some time, what I've seen over the last 13 years in my professional work, my personal experience, is that although people may stop using drugs and alcohol, they may be working really hard on their mental state, their spiritual health. It's very rare that we ever hear anything about our physical state and our physical health and repairing the damage that happens during addiction. And so we can come into recovery, not change our poor diet, and remain malnourished, nutrient deficient. And what can happen when we're looking at this through the lens of addiction recovery or mental health recovery, trauma recovery, is that we need certain chemicals called neurotransmitters to help with our mental health, to help with our moods, to help with our stability, and also to help with our cravings for substances or behaviors. Some of these chemicals are serotonin. Most of us know that. Serotonin is associated with, it is not the only cause, but serotonin deficiency is part of the constellation that can lead to depression. It can lead to irritability and anger problems. It can lead to insomnia, chronic pain, chronic fatigue, ruminating thoughts, these kinds of things, just irritable and depressed, exhausted. When we get enough serotonin, we can have a balanced mood, a sunny outlook on life, less pain, more clear thinking. And serotonin, when it's deficient, can lead us to also crave substances that can quickly soothe those symptoms, such as alcohol. Another one is GABA. GABA is our natural Xanax. We need GABA to control our stress response and keep our anxiety at bay. If we don't have enough GABA, that could be one reason we're experiencing anxiety, even if we're doing all of the other work. Dopamine is highly associated with addiction. Dopamine deficiency. Dopamine gives us a sense of purpose and reward and focus in life. If we don't have enough dopamine, we're going to have reward deficiency, and we will go out and seek substances or behaviors to bring us a sense of reward. So when we're malnourished and our body does not have the nutrients and raw building materials it needs to build those neurotransmitters and other aspects of our physical health, it's going to be really hard to raise out of states of depression, anxiety, and even addiction. Malnutrition is a big cause in relapse. If you're on the path of recovery and you haven't considered upgrading your diet, I would say that that might be something that would be very impactful for you. If you'd like to learn more, you can head over to Humans Can Heal. It's a platform I've designed for holistic mental health and addiction recovery tools. Much love.